I am Dr. Selliah Gnanaseharan from the state of New Jersey in the city of West Orange. Professor Suborno Isaac Bari doesn't need an introduction from me. He has been known to everyone all over the world at the school level, at the college level, at the university level. He has traveled through all over the world. You are from and what brought you to New York, and talk about a little bit about your parents' background too.
Oh, well, I was born here in New York, so there's nothing that really brought me there. So I was born in the Bronx, but later in my life, when I was 8 years old, I moved to Long Island in Lynbrook, and I moved to Lynbrook in Long Island, and there I started my skipping grades from 4th grade to 8th grade, from 9th grade to 12th grade, and I was able to graduate at the age of 12, which is where I am right now. I just graduated from high school 1 month ago, and my educational background has been very smooth so far. I've been able to get more than 32 college credits so far from not only my high school AP courses, but also from courses that I've taken at several colleges around New York, including Stony Brook University, Brooklyn College, New York University, the City College of New York, etc. So all of these universities allow me to take courses there for lots of credits, and that helps me be as prepared as I can for my college education. In terms of my parents' backgrounds, my mom was born in Southeast Asia in 1977, and my dad was born in the same country in 1979, and they moved here in 2000 and got married in 2002. So my brother was born in 2003, and my dad had a great love for not only math and physics, but also teaching other people. His first job was a security guard, so he can make ends meet. But once my story started going viral, and he started to get money from other sources, he was able to move to a better job, a job that paid more at a charter school where he got his love for teaching, and now he teaches at one of the best high schools in the United States, Brooklyn Technical High School, and he's teaching physics, which is a very hard subject, especially at a technical high school. So my mom has also always had a love for teaching, but only now has she started her master's degree in childhood education, not now, about 1 year ago, and also she has taken up a job as a part-time teacher at several elementary schools. So both of them have been great inspiration for me. My brother as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a job yet because, but he is doing his master's degree at Bremen University, one of the best universities in the entire world. So I'm very proud of him, and I hope to see that all of us are growing, not just me, in the near future.
Good, excellent, and I thank you for your informative, very detailed, your family background, and for sure it's not the people from West Orange or New Jersey only. You are known to all over the world, and with that, I am taking part and with your happiness and with your growth and with your development in the field of education. And you are, without a doubt, a gifted child, and as young as 12 years old, you have gone this much far, and can you imagine you have a long way to go and do a lot more things. Now, let me ask you that by hearing your background, your education, your parents, without a doubt, I am so proud of your dad, Mr. Bari, and your mom, and both of whom you have been supported in all the way up to today. Now, let's talk about your educational interests so far. I'm sure you might be changing your field of education or your research area. And what area, especially your subject, I'm coming to the subject matter. What are you researching much about it is it in the subject wise?
Right, since I'm starting my bachelor's degree, I have very little research activity right now, but a paper that I'm currently working on is slightly optimizing the simulation of accurate fluid mechanics using the Navier-Stokes equation. So it takes lots of computer energy to simulate fluids right now, and I hope to be able to make the load on computers a little bit smoother with some sort of optimization. So in terms of my field of study, math and physics is a very general, but in specific, in terms of math, I want to go into probability and algorithms and optimization. And in terms of physics, I've always not just wanted to go into nuclear physics and quantum physics, but also in terms of what makes computers able to work. So I've always also loved electrical physics, although I'm a lot less experienced in electrical physics.
Great. I'm sure you are, by hearing your visions and ambition, you are moving towards mathematics and physics in those areas. That's great. And Professor Suborno, you are a great inspiration for these youngsters and school kids and college kids, even at the university level. You are already making a great difference, and people even call, the young Einstein of 2024. I hear that, and without meeting, and before I met you, I have seen a lot of media, social medias talk about you, and videos and YouTube videos, of course, and I can't believe that I'm sitting next to you. Now, you, other than your education, that is reading, writing, researching, and doing so many things, what are your extracurricular activities? Don't talk about your reading, research. What else are you interested, or what are you engaged with now?
So I've always been interested in playing badminton, the sport. I think it's a very enjoyable sport. I also love playing chess, even though I'm not as good as it as you might expect. I'm about average in terms of being able to play chess, so I'm not like on grandmaster level or anything, but I enjoy it as a pastime. And I also enjoy reading books in my free time, especially novels, and watching TV, very exciting TV shows. I've seen a few lately, and they've all had very interesting concepts that not only makes your brain think, but they have these action scenes that are really rewarding for you to watch, and it's just very nice to look at whenever you get tired of math and physics. So of course I have lots of hobbies, but those are my main ones.
Definitely. I mean, as I am a school teacher, I always encourage students to have different version of yourself, and as you grow, when you grow in the school, you need to have you need to possess leadership skills, and you need to possess critical thinking skills and problem solving skills, and all those, that's intrapersonal intelligence. I'm sure you should grow to become your own problem solver. Don't always go to your mom and ask her a problem, right? And that's, we call them intrapersonal intelligence and interpersonal. I'm sure you have interpersonal intelligence, that is between two people. You are a great communicator, so I don't need to ask any question about that. When it comes to intrapersonal, within ourselves, solving our own problem, I'm sure when you grow up a little bit, maybe 14, 15, you won't even go to your mom and dad and you say, no, I know how to resolve this one. Right? Now, let's change the topic. Let's go to the uncharted territory here. The questions about politics. Whether you like it or not, I want to ask you about some politics. What do you want to say without me asking any particular areas of politics? At the current scenario of the politics, I'm talking about United States presidential election politics. Do you want to add anything? I just want to test your knowledge of what you think about this current situation.
So I don't want to make any specific comments or retorts against anybody, but I think that the dropout of President Biden from the race has definitely benefited the Democratic Party's chances, because before that, so many people were questioning, what can this person do? And I will be honest here, I was one of them. He seemed like he was aging so much between 2016 and 2020, 2020 and 2024, that it was a big question. What was he going to look like within the next 4 years if he was reelected? And the same question doesn't really hold for Trump, because although he's a very similar age, he's a lot more energetic on the stage. Personally, I wouldn't like to make any statements as to who I support, but I think that whatever happens, it's in the will of the American people, and in 2028, this nation will hopefully come out stronger than it was in this election.
Great. Thank you for your giving me your opinion about your political view, and I wouldn't say political view, but your observation, right? Of course, you are too young or too early to predict anything, and but one thing I can agree, yes, the political trajectory, the whole thing is scenario is changed after President Biden dropped out of the race due to whatever the reason may be. So, thank you for your take on that. And I'm moving on to the technological development right now, computerized technological development. Let's talk about this, the richest guy in the world, Elon Musk, right? And I'm sure you admire him. I don't know about it, but what do you think about his talent? I'm sure when he was, I don't think he was as smart, bright as you are, that he was when he was young. What do you think about his inventive talents and inventions?
Personally, I believe that although he has done a lot in terms of starting these companies and bringing them to fame, he's not the one who's actually behind all of these inventions. He bought off Tesla from two original inventors, and that's really his biggest creation. When he bought the platform of Twitter and changed its name, it didn't go very well. And I really admire what he's doing with SpaceX as the first and probably biggest private space company, and seeing it perform all these missions. I'm really excited to see what Musk will do with it in the future. And there were lots of ethical questions behind some of the things he's doing, such as his chip test for Neuralink, and there were some of his companies haven't gone down very well in history, like Suborno company, which is just overcharging people to essentially make a train station for cars. So I think that while some of his inventions have been great and have positively impacted the world, other things that he has done have negatively impacted our world, and he hasn't faced the consequences as much. He hasn't faced the consequences of those actions much as I would have liked him to. But I still admire Elon Musk for the positive things he has done, especially his work on SpaceX.
Definitely, thank you. And I'm sure and you have a very in-depth knowledge of what is going on. No doubt that you are always praised by people here now. No, I have a mixture of question now. America, you live in America, and I'm sure you were born in America, and there is a cultural sensitivity issue going on here. I mean, it's not only even from starting from all the way from Martin Luther King's time and discrimination, all those things. Do you see, as an Asian descendant from your parents are from, I think, East Asia, and do you see any treatment that you don't like it towards your parents, that your treatment by other people towards you or towards your family?
The United States is obviously the greatest country in the entire world, but racism is not a problem of the country, it is a problem of the people and their innate sense of what is going on around them. However, I still haven't experienced that many incidents of what I would call racism or discrimination because of my origins. I know there are so many people who are not so lucky, but I would like to say that the United States has developed so many protections for every single group that has been discriminated against in the last 60 to 70 years. I'm very proud of all of the work that we have done on that front. to stop such incidents from happening. So of course there are still outliers, but I have not experienced any racial discrimination that has significantly affected me or my family and left a mark.
That's great to hear that. I was asking in a positive note and not definitely, I never went through any hard time, not to mention any special things, but there are things, and I just wanted to check your depth on that knowledge. You are very tactics and you're very knowledgeable in so many other topics. And now, probably I will ask you as a last question now, where do you want to see yourself in, let's say, another 5 years to come? Elaborated, I want to increase the number, in 10 years to come, where do you want to see yourself?
In the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself not only solving a lot of the unsolved questions that we have today in math and science, but also hopefully becoming a professor so I can teach more people, hopefully becoming a full-time professor so I can teach more people, and I can actually make a greater impact than I can by just being a scientist on my own. So I can inspire thousands upon thousands of people, to do math and science on their own, to have the same creative inquiry that we all need in our lives. So that's my goal in the next 5 to 10 years.
Great, and that pretty much, and I can't thank you enough for your time. And right now, I want to invite your mom and your dad to join us in this small conversation. Mom and Dad, can you grab a chair? I want to turn my attention to your dad, Mr. Bari, and I know you are in the field of education, you are a professor, you are in the university now. Tell us about your opinion about how he is doing and how he has become, as always, like you always describe about him, right?
Yeah, we are very blessed to have parents of two children, two wonderful children. My first child, Purva, was born 2003, and Suborno was born 2012, right? So when Suborno was 6 months, he started talking, and when Suborno was 1.5 years old, everybody knows this story. His mom was teaching, because his mom, just like my elder son, his mom was the teacher of Suborno at very young age. When his mom was teaching him 1+1, and he started challenging his mom, because Suborno likes to challenge. And his mom reported it to me, and it did not surprise me because my elder son was also a talent. But one day by accident I mentioned it to one of my professors that I was taking classes with, and the professor told me that young kid like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year old, they cannot abstract math. So you should pay attention, and if you get a chance, bring him to me. So that's where we started paying more attention to Suborno. We are very blessed. So, for example, you ask me, what is my feelings of being a father? There is nothing more rewarding to be father. Sometimes I go to, this is true. Sometimes I go to New York Hospital, where Suborno was born, just to have fun. Why? Because it makes me feel good. And my wife called me why it takes so long to come home, and I said, well, I'm over here, I'm having some fun. And she would ask me, where are you having so fun? I said, New York Hospital, Queens. And she would be asking, why you have any why you went there to see doctor? I said, no, just coming here and like going back to 2012, April 9th, that gives me so much pleasure. So yeah, once in a while, once every month, I go there to have some fun. We spend like half an hour looking at the hospital and having fun.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, just to remember all those.
Right, absolutely. Good memories.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And thank you, Mom. And I know you have been answering this same, or you have been sharing your ideas about Suborno all the time. And just for the record, I want to ask you, how did you, or when and how did you realize that Suborno has an extra talent or extraordinary talent in math or some other thing? You have, just tell us about your interaction when you was as young as 2-3 years old. Describe about that.
Okay, thanks for your question. So when I started my college here, so Suborno was like 2-year-old that time. So I used to try to give him some toy to play with that toy, then I can do my homework and my assignment. But every time I give him toy, he just play like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then he started looking at the computer what his mom doing. And sometimes I also just sometimes look at him, oh, what he's doing. I see he feel bored with the toy. And I usually teach him basic arithmetic. That time he was like more than 1.5 years. So that's the story I shared many times, but I think I have to share again. So I was teaching him like, just like other mom, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. And he, every time I teach him some basic thing, he challenges me. Mom, then what is x + x? Then what is n times n? And then I just informed my husband because he was math student. I was a math student. I was an accounting student that time. So my husband then started teaching him, and at certain point my husband also failed to teach him because he was beyond that level. Then he reached out some of his professor, and his professor started teaching Suborno. And when Suborno was 4th grade, that time we moved from Bronx to Long Island. So Suborno's principal, 4th grade principal took his IQ test, and Suborno's principal informed us he's not in 4th grade level. And she said we need to move him like 12th grade, and I said no, I can't do that because my son is so young. He also need to develop his social and emotional skill. So I don't want him to put him on like elder kid. And then the whole educational board was working like a team. So they did few meetings, and they decided to put him 4th grade and 8th grade at the same time. 4th grade for his like emotional and social skill, and 8th grade for his educational skill. And they were watching actually how he can adapt to the environment. And I was also silently watching him. And I didn't tell my husband. I was thinking, if my son can adapt to the environment, I'm not gonna move him 8th grade or 9th grade, 10th grade, it doesn't matter for me as a mom. So every time he come from his school, I used to ask him, Suborno, how you feel today? And Suborno said, Mom, it's fine, it's totally fine. So few months I observed him, and I just realized that he was fine with the environment, with the higher level kid. And then they moved him from 9th grade, and from 9th grade to they moved him this 12th grade. So that's the story.
And he graduated last month on June 26th from Marble High School.
This is an amazing story, inspiring story. I have a son too. He is 26 years. He is at the Stanford University doing his PhD.
Oh wow!
So it's just to to say a few words about my family. Yeah, that's all. I live with my wife here. So let's say. Professor Suborno, you have 2 wonderful parents, your mom and dad, and I'm sure I don't know you believe in the heredity where all your brain's settings and brain wirings are coming from your parents. I'm sure, and I'm not a researcher on that area. You are who you are or what you are because something is the magnet is coming from your mom and your dad, definitely, yeah, right? If not from your grandparents.